Hi, and welcome to Shay of All Trades. I am the Shay in Shay of All Trades, and I am water bath canning for the very first time. I am water bath canning pears that I have here. I got like 12 pounds from a local farm. I refrigerator canned like 2 pounds of those, delish, and so now I have, I think this is actually just under 10 pounds now because a couple of them didn't last very long. Because I should have done this like 4 days ago, and I have been the busiest I've been in weeks. But we got it done. I already prepped all of my pears because honestly guys, you didn't need to see that. You didn't need to sit there and watch me do that. I'm gonna explain a little bit to you about what I did while my canner is heating up. I should probably turn the stove on first. That would be helpful. I just got so excited to start talking to you guys. With the pears, I actually have no idea what kind they are, and I don't have any left, but I will put a picture here. But they look like, I haven't looked it up. But anyways, so I just pop the little stemmy part off, and then I started by hand peeling each one with a potato peeler. And I honestly got sick of it way before I figured something else out. So about 3/4 of the way through, I was like, I cannot peel another pear this way. And so what I did was the knife I was using to like cut off the bottom root portion, the bottom like butt portion of the pear, instead of peeling and then cutting and then having all that stuff, what I did was I took the top off, I cut the bottom off, and then I just used the knife, and that was so much quicker. I don't know if it was actually quicker, it felt so much quicker. It did take me an hour to pick, peel, and core about 10 pounds of pears. Anyways, I also, when I refrigerator canned my last batch of pears, I was just using a knife to kind of cut out the center of the pear. There was no way I was gonna do that with 5 times the amount of pears. I used a tablespoon, this is a teaspoon obviously. I used a tablespoon to core and get all the crud out of the middle that you don't want in there. And then I just put them in lemon juice water baths. I don't think I put enough lemon juice because they are starting to brown a little bit, but these pears are just for me. It's just me. Anyways, this is warming up. Also, if you're new here, this is not my kitchen. If you're not new here and you follow me on any of my social medias or you've seen my shorts here on YouTube, you realize already that this is not my kitchen. I have a side business job where I do animal care and house sitting and things like that, and that's what I'm doing right now. But I still have things I need to do and content I need to create. So here we are. So while this is warming up, the pears are patiently waiting. I have 2 canning books with me. Shay, why do you have 2 canning books? Because, first of all, they're both the Ball books. This is the Ball Complete Book of Home Preserving. And this is the all new book of Canning and Preserving by Ball. So anyways, this one I purchased, I got it at Tractor Supply. You can see I've already started marking recipes I liked. And this one, in the library. I was at the library today. And look, new. They just got this in like a week ago. So I was like, you know what? I'll compare. And honestly, they're like the same. But I just wanted to see. In this pot I have right here, we're going to start making our syrup. I don't know how much I need. I don't really understand how people just are knowing these measurements. And I probably could have looked that up and done a little bit more research first. But if you know me at all, if you've been around for a while, you know I just do things. The all new book recommends a medium syrup for the pears, but I like a light syrup. I have been eating canned pears for almost my entire childhood and adulthood. I grew up eating them. Don't judge me. And I know I'm not the only one out there, but you get some like thick shredded sharp cheddar cheese on those pears. So good. And that's pretty much what I'm most excited about always having pears in the house for. So we're gonna start making that syrup. We're gonna make that light syrup because I still think that's good. And this is starting to boil a little bit, so we gotta get moving. So I'm gonna get 5 1/4 cups of water into this pot. Okay, we've got 5 1/4 cups of water in this pot, and we're gonna start heating this up. Why not me? And then for the light syrup, we need 2 1/4 cups of white granulated sugar. Normally I have like that Florida raw cane sugar. I really, really like using that stuff, but I'm not in my own kitchen, so I'm gonna use what we have, which is granulated white sugar. You know, I really was like thinking about like what I want the vibe of this video to be like, because I really feel like this is gonna set like a precedence, you know, for my channel now that I want to start posting semi-regularly, just because I don't know what this is gonna look like yet. And truthfully, like, part of me wanted this to be like a really like nice, well recorded, like informational how-to video. And I just don't know that that's my vibe. I feel like I'm naturally just a little bit more chaotic than that and a little more spontaneous than that. And how much? 2 1/4? 1, this is 2 going in. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start and we're gonna see what happens. So that's what we're doing. And that is a quarter. I don't know if y'all heard that. That sounded kind of crazy. Now, I am gonna hot pack the jars, which if you don't know what that means, it means you are filling hot jars with whatever you're canning, and then you're putting it into a hot canner, hot packing, everything's hot. I say all that because my jars are not currently in this water because I just ran them through a sanitized dishwash cycle, so they're hot still / already. And honestly, I just kind of feel like my brain, there's something about this where my brain is like, girl, this is common sense. You know, like my brain is like, you know how to, I feel like I know how to do this in my soul. You know, that's not the case. We're gonna put that there. We're gonna turn the heat down on that syrup because it's starting to get a little, woo! I'm actually gonna use this, it's fine. This little tiny whisk. Wow, I'm forgetting kitchen words. That's crazy. We don't want that sugar to settle or caramelize on the bottom or nothing. Make sure it's all off the bottom. We do want it to simmer for a little bit just to make sure everything's good and combined. So prepare canner jars and lids, done. In the saucepan, over medium-low heat, warm pears 1 layer at a time in the syrup until heated through about 5 minutes. I think that means 5 minutes total and not 5 minutes per layer. We're gonna turn that down just a smidgen. We don't want nothing to burn. We don't want too much of that water to evaporate. Bring to a boil and process pint jars for 20 minutes and quart jars for 25 minutes. Hi. So obviously this is a lot of water to bring to a boil. I think it's about this full to this line right here. Oh, it's getting hot though. I have pint jars with me, wide mouth. I have come to the conclusion I'm not a fan of the regular mouth jars. Unless it's something that is getting poured or is getting drunk, I want the wide mouth jars. Of all heights, of all ounces. It says it makes 8 pint jars. I think I have 7 prepared, but I have an extra one here that it's clean. This is fresh out of the dishwasher. This can be like my tester jar. Like I'll fill it with all the same stuff and then I'll let it cool and then this will go in the fridge and then I can try these in the morning just to make sure, you know, just wanna check. All of the lids are brand new. They've not been used. They say you cannot use used lids. I don't have any experience to where I can speak from my own, but from years of watching different homesteaders, different people canning, I've seen people reuse lids as long as they're not damaged. So you do with that information what you will. Use them, don't use them. That's at your own discretion. This is not hot enough yet. This is not boiling, and it is on high on the widest one. So we're just waiting it out. We're just waiting it out. The fork might not be the best option, but we're gonna pick this up out of the water and let it rest so that when our cans are ready, we can just right back in. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting worried there for a second. This water was not boiling in the canner, and I even looked it up because I was like, maybe I'm dumb and I just can't remember. Maybe I just didn't remember you can't water bath can on an electric stove. You can, the water is boiling. We have one other, not a dilemma, but a delay. I accidentally left the dishwasher open, so now all of the jars are room temperature. So I do, in fact, need to carefully, do I put them in there? They're not cold, but they're not hot either. I don't know, is it too late to put them in there? It's boiling. I don't know. You can't really see it. Full rolling boil. Hot. Okay, when I take the lid off, it stops boiling a ton. What if I just put one can in there? I know you can't see that, but I feel like that's a good start. Now you're supposed to make sure they get filled with water so they don't float. But right now I'm focused on getting them warm enough to even go into the water. I guess I can practice using my jar holder. I've used my jar holder before, but it's been about probably 2 years since I've canned something, and I've never water bath canned, but I have pressure canned. Oh my gosh. Lord have mercy. Oh gosh. Things are falling over. Okay. They're a little lopsided in there, but I'm gonna let them heat up a little bit like that. And then I'm gonna lower them in to get them hot again. Dang it, the dishwasher was such a good method because I didn't have to do this. And it would have basically been saving me a whole step. Ugh. I wonder if they'll just get hot enough like this if I cover it. I'm gonna leave that for a few minutes and I'll be back. Okay, the water is boiling here. I can hear it. And I think I'm gonna take the jars out because obviously the jars are hot. The jars are hot now. And I'm just gonna start. It's 10:30. 10:30. Thank the Lord I don't work tomorrow. So here's the deal. You can't put the hot jar on the cool counter because that is the whole like hot, cool explosion thing. So we're gonna have to adjust accordingly. I'm ready to get this done. I'm ready to get this done. So we're gonna do that. I need a slotted spoon. I think I'm gonna use this one. I like how thick it is, and I don't know if that's gonna be good or if that's gonna be bad, but we'll find out together. Okay, we are just gonna, and you just kind of did, whoop, whoop. Let me get lower for you so we can see each other. And it said to just do one layer of the pears. And this is at a medium-low heat, so I am gonna turn it up a smidgen. Just because I had it so low because I've been waiting so long for the canner to boil. So we're gonna start transferring these now. Move this out of the way. Move this back. Here we can, oh my God, I just scared myself with a reflection. Oh, I thought there was somebody in the window. We'll just take one right out in the middle here. I'm gonna put this here. My sanitized jar funnel. I honestly, at this point, am not worried about them being laid a certain way. I just need to get them into the jar. I like to try to keep some of the little ones to go on top and in the crevices when they show up. That one's a little smush, but we don't have to go with it. And just set it right over here. Now we're gonna take these, put a layer of them in here. Trying to do this as quick as I can because it is a little chilly in here, so I don't want these jars to cool off super fast. A little bit more. I will say these pears were definitely a little bit softer than you should use to can, but this was my only plan with them, so I just had to do it. Sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. You're kind of blanching the pears a little bit. You know, when you like blanch like spinach or kale or something. It's like almost like a reverse blanch, because they're in cold to room temperature water and then into a hot syrup and then into a hot jar. So it's kind of like a reverse blanch for the pears. Next jar. You get the gist of it, so I'll show you when I'm done. I'm too stressed out for you to be watching me right now. Okay, I ended up getting 5 pint jars. Listen, I don't work tomorrow. My brain is on, it's off actually. It's not on anything, it's off. Now we're gonna fill these with the syrup. I don't know what the best way to do this is, honestly. So, I'm gonna grab this ladle. I almost knocked over a whole bowl. And I'm just gonna put this over this like this. And we're just gonna scoop it in. Try to put in less, because you can always add more. Now, these jars are messy. I will tell you that right now. But once they are cooled and sealed and everything tomorrow, like I'll rinse these rims. I have this little gadget that came with my tools when I first bought them. This helps measure your headspace. I don't know if you can see it. I'm not good at this yet, but you see there's numbers on there? Yeah, you can see them. So I need a 1/2 inch headspace, which is this little guy right here. I filled all of these jars with the syrup that I made, and I took this little guy, and you use the other end for poking in them to get the air bubbles out. You're gonna do that with every jar, and I feel like this is as good as it's gonna get. So now I'm gonna get a wet paper towel, and I'm gonna wipe off the rims, because I don't have any vinegar on hand. Usually you do with vinegar, but I'm gonna just use water. It'll be fine. But you have to make sure there's no sticky, because the sticky will prevent the seal. Y'all, I'm so nervous. So I'm just gonna dip it in some of this hot water right here. We're gonna clean off those rims really good. Hot, but I gotta move them. Hot. But they need more space. Okay. Okay. I just realized y'all been looking at me like this. I am sorry. Just make sure there's no sticky. There's no pear crud. The last thing we need is pear crud. Messing everything up. I'm gonna put the lid back on the canner while I'm doing this. I'm sorry, I keep turning my back to y'all. New to this. Dun, 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 dun. I think we're good. Now we go get our lids. Mine are still in the dishwasher. Now my problem is I like to make sure they're lined up with where the jar faces. So that's what I'm gonna do. And a lot of people have like that magnetic thingy to help put your lids on, but I don't have that. So we're just very carefully using our fingertips. Oh, this is going to have to go backwards on this one. Ain't no rhyme or reason, no complicated meaning. All right, let's get our rings. Now, what's nice about canning these is if it doesn't seal or it doesn't keep it sealed, I just put it in the fridge. We're just going to put them on like that first. Make sure every one of them's got a lid and they're on. And you want them what they call fingertip tight. Now that's just a little bit tighter than just swirling them on, so we're going to just fingertip tight, fingertip tight, fingertip tight. Okay, we're going to put them in the canner now. Let's take this off. It's back up to a boil, which is good. We're gonna take our jar holder. Oh Lord, y'all, here we go. Oh, Lord be with me. Lord be with me. Be with my jars. You are the provider. Yes, Jesus, you are. Okay, I have 5 jars, so I'm going to try to evenly distribute the weight of these 5 jars. Last one. Get this one in the middle. Oh, oh. Uh-oh. Oh, we're a little... Hold on, hold on. Hold on, everybody hold on. The ring is not hot. So we're gonna just slightly move these. Slightly, barely tiny. And just pick this up and put that one in the middle. They're in the canner. All right, now we gotta put them. Let's see. We got our handbook here. So I guess put these in here. Do I need to wait for it to be a boil? Or it just needs, like, I start the time once it boils. Place jars in canner. Oh God. Oh my God. Okay, they're in. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. Ensuring they're completely covered. They're completely covered. Bring to a boil and process for 20 minutes for your pints and 25 minutes for your quarts. So I guess I'll put this back on, and once it starts boiling, I'll start the timer. I will come back when the timer is done, so we're not all just waiting here together for the next 20-25 minutes. I was really over recording and speaking to my phone, so I did not care to say anything during this next part. But once those 20 minutes were up, I turned the stovetop off and I let the canner sit for 5 minutes with the lid on and then 5 minutes with the lid off, just because I was being real cautious. And then I did not raise the jars out of the water before like lifting them out, because I just was nervous they were going to fall over because it was not tightly packed. But you want to lift them straight up and out, put them on a surface that's not too contradictory in temperature, and then you have to let them rest for 24 hours. So I just had to take all of these out and just like sit and wait and hope and keep myself busy for the next 24 hours waiting to make sure that these sealed successfully. Now, I did previously mention that if they did not seal successfully, I could just refrigerate them, or you can always refrost them and try to seal them again. So let's see how they turned out. Y'all, it is the next morning, and you're not supposed to touch the jars for 24 hours, like after you've taken them out of the canner. So it's not been 24 hours yet, but it is the next morning, and I'm not going to touch them because I don't want to risk ruining the sealing process. But they all look to be sealed. They all look concave, which is what you're looking for. If you can still see like the rounded button on top in the middle, they definitely did not seal. So this looks promising, but I will come back to you when 24 hours has been totaled and we can like actually check them together. Y'all, it's been 24 hours, so we are going to check these jars now. It is 11:30 at night, and I am tired. Let's get this ring off and lift by the lid and see if she stays. And look at that, just like magic, that jar is sealed. Now to test all 4 of them. I was so excited how these turned out, honestly. All 5 jars did seal and was successful. I don't have my marker on me, but I'm going to go ahead and mark them with the date as soon as I do. And I am happy to say that my first ever water bath canning was a success. Thank you guys for joining me on my first canning adventure. I'm sure there'll be plenty more of these and other adventures to come. So stick around, subscribe, like, comment, all of those fun things that I really don't want to have to tell you but feel like I need to tell you. And anyways, I will see you next time.